Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a book that's been a total game changer for millions of people across the world. A book that doesn't just talk about motivation or inspiration in vague terms, but instead gives you a practical, science-backed roadmap for building the kind of life you want, one habit at a time. That book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, before you think this is just another self-help book that promises the world and delivers cliches, let me tell you this. Atomic Habits is different. It doesn't ask you to overhaul your life overnight. It doesn't rely on sheer willpower or endless motivation. Instead, it focuses on the tiny changes, the atomic level improvements, that compound over time to produce remarkable results. So, in this video, I'm going to break down the book, share its key lessons, explore the psychology behind habits, and explain why this book has resonated with millions. But I won't just summarize it. I'll show you how these principles actually play out in real life. By the end, you'll not only understand the book, but also feel inspired to apply its wisdom to your own journey. So grab a coffee, settle in, because this is going to be deep, inspiring, and maybe even life-changing. The core philosophy of Atomic Habits. At the heart of James Clear's message is one simple yet profound idea. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That quote right there is worth pausing on. Because think about it. How many times have we set big goals? I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to save $10,000. I want to write a book. I want to run a marathon. Goals give us direction, sure, but they don't actually change us. What really changes us is the system, the daily habits, the routines, the processes that get us closer to those outcomes. If you want different results, you don't just need bigger goals, you need better systems. And here's the beauty of habits. When you focus on small, consistent actions, the results compound just like money in a savings account. 1% better every day might not seem like much, but in a year, you're nearly 37 times better. That's the power of Atomic Habits. Why tiny habits matter. James Clear starts the book by reminding us of something that's almost painfully obvious but often overlooked. Habits shape our identity. Every small action we take is a vote for the type of person we want to become. You go for a run today? That's a vote for being an athlete. You write a single paragraph? That's a vote for being a writer. You save $5 instead of spending it? That's a vote for being financially disciplined. No single action defines you, but repeated actions cast votes. Over time, your identity shifts. This is where the brilliance of Atomic Habits lies. It shifts the focus from outcomes, I want six-pack abs, to identity. I am the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. It's about becoming rather than just achieving. The 4 laws of behavior change. One of the most practical takeaways from the book is James Clear's framework called the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws are the blueprint for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Let's break them down. 1. Make it obvious. Habits thrive on cues. If you want to build a habit, make the cue obvious. Want to eat healthier? Place a bowl of fruit on your counter. Want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow. James Clear calls this environment design. Instead of relying on willpower, you design your surroundings to nudge you toward better behaviors. And the flip side? If you want to break a bad habit, make the cue invisible. Delete the app. Hide the junk food. Out of sight, out of mind. 2. Make it attractive. We do things we find attractive. So, if you want to build a habit, bundle it with something you enjoy. This is called temptation bundling. Example: I'll only watch my favorite Netflix show if I'm on the treadmill. The brain learns to crave the habit because it's paired with pleasure. 3. Make it easy. The best habits aren't about motivation, they're about reducing friction. Want to work out? Pack your gym clothes the night before. Want to learn guitar? Keep it out of the case and within arm's reach. James Clear emphasizes the 2-minute rule. Any habit can be started in under 2 minutes. Want to read more? Just open the book and read 1 sentence. The point isn't to achieve greatness immediately. It's to show up consistently. 4. Make it satisfying. Our brains repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. So, if you want a habit to stick, find a way to make it satisfying in the moment. That might mean tracking your progress visually, like crossing off days on a calendar or giving yourself a small reward. For breaking bad habits, do the opposite. Make them unsatisfying. Share your goals publicly, so failing creates social accountability. Together, these 4 laws create a system you can use for literally any habit. health, finances, relationships, learning, you name it. Stories that stick. One reason this book resonates is that James Clear doesn't just throw theories at you. He illustrates them with powerful, memorable stories. For example, the story of the British cycling team, which went from decades of mediocrity to Olympic domination by focusing on tiny improvements in everything, from the fabric of their shorts to the massage gel used on athletes. The story of how a plane crash was avoided because the pilots had developed the habit of precise communication. Or the story of how habits determine success in business, sports, and even politics. These stories anchor the principles in real-world examples, showing us that atomic habits aren't just abstract ideas. They're forces that shape history. Identity, the true game changer. Now let's come back to the idea of identity, because this is where the book truly stands apart from other habit or productivity books. Most of us try to change by focusing on outcomes. I want to lose weight. I want to quit smoking. I want to write a book. But Clear flips this on its head. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? He asks, who do I want to become? The person who loses weight doesn't just lose weight. They become a healthy person. The person who quits smoking becomes a non-smoker. The person who writes a book becomes a writer. Every time you follow through on a small habit, you reinforce that identity. Habits, then, are not just actions. They're votes for who you are becoming. This is revolutionary because it's no longer about forcing yourself to do something. It's about aligning with who you already believe you are. Breaking bad habits. The book isn't just about building good habits. It's also about breaking bad ones. And here, James Clear is brutally honest. You can't erase a bad habit, but you can replace it. Remember the 4 laws? To break a bad habit, you invert them. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Say you want to stop mindless scrolling. Delete social media apps from your phone. Invisible. Remind yourself of the wasted hours and lost opportunities. Unattractive. Require extra steps, like logging in on a computer. Difficult. Tell a friend who will hold you accountable. Unsatisfying to fail. This inversion makes bad habits harder to stick and good habits easier to build. Systems over goals. One of my favorite parts of the book is when Clear explains why focusing solely on goals can actually backfire. Think about it. Both winners and losers have the same goals. Every Olympian wants to win gold. Every entrepreneur wants a successful business. Every student wants good grades. Goals don't separate the successful from the unsuccessful. What does? Systems. A goal is about the result you want. A system is about the process that leads to that result. When you fall in love with the process, the results take care of themselves. Practical applications. All right, so how does all this translate to real life? Let's imagine a few scenarios. You want to become healthier. Don't start with, I want to lose 20 pounds. Start with, I am a person who exercises regularly. Then design your environment. Put your workout shoes by the door, meal prep on Sundays. Join a friend for accountability. You want to write a book. Don't aim for, I want to finish 300 pages. Start with, I am a writer. Then apply the 2-minute rule. Open your laptop every morning and write 1 sentence. Before you know it, you've built momentum. You want to save money. Don't obsess over the number in your bank account. Start with, I am a person who makes smart financial choices. Automate savings. Track expenses. Make the system foolproof. This is how Atomic Habits becomes practical, not just inspirational. Why this book resonates globally. Now, let's talk about why Atomic Habits has sold over 10 million copies and counting. Why has it become a staple in the personal development world? Because it speaks to a universal truth. We are creatures of habit. Every culture, every person, no matter their background, we're all governed by routines, behaviors, and repeated actions. But here's the catch. Most of us underestimate just how powerful those small, repeated actions are. Clear has managed to package psychology, neuroscience, and real-life examples into a book that's simple, actionable, and relatable. It's not preachy. It's not overwhelming. It's practical wisdom that anyone can apply. My personal take. Here's my personal reflection after reading this book. It's not about becoming superhuman. It's not about squeezing productivity into every second of your day. It's about designing a life where the default choices lead you in the direction you want to go. When I applied even a fraction of these ideas, I noticed real changes. I stopped relying on motivation and started relying on systems. I stopped asking, did I achieve my big goal yet? And started asking, am I casting votes for the person I want to become? And honestly, that shift made all the difference. Criticisms and limitations. Now, no book is perfect, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. Some critics argue that Atomic Habits oversimplifies behavior change, that not all problems can be solved by small habits. Some require deep emotional work, therapy, or systemic changes. And that's fair. If someone is battling trauma, depression, or systemic inequality, habits alone won't magically solve everything. But here's the thing. Habits are one of the most accessible tools we have. They may not fix everything, but they can give us momentum, confidence, and a sense of agency. And sometimes, that's the spark that leads to deeper transformation. Final thoughts. So, to wrap this up, Atomic Habits isn't just a book about habits. It's a book about identity, growth, and transformation. It's about realizing that big changes don't come from big goals, but from tiny daily actions compounded over time. It's about seeing yourself differently and casting votes for the person you want to become. It's about designing your environment so that success becomes the natural outcome. If you've ever felt stuck, frustrated, or like your goals were out of reach, this book reminds you that change is possible. Not overnight, not with one giant leap, but with small, consistent steps. And honestly, that's not just inspiring, it's empowering. So, if you haven't read Atomic Habits yet, I highly recommend picking it up, not just to learn about habits, but to reshape the way you think about your life. Because at the end of the day, your habits are your life. And if you can change your habits, you can change your future. Thanks for watching. If you found this review helpful or inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives into life-changing books, and drop a comment below. What habit are you working on right now? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, small habits, big results.